Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 Truth to Sports coming to you with another segment. God damn it, I said another segment. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This is a segment that I do what I learned about Coach Prime's coaching staff and the 52-0 win over Oklahoma State. Let's go ahead and get right into some of my notes. First of all, for Oklahoma State, it was kind of sad to see them like that. Not to have won a game of the conference, and they looked like it. They looked the part, as we all say. They just looked bad. It was also sad to see a great back like Ollie Gordon only get 10 yards for the game. I know he's been fighting injuries off and on during the game, so I don't know what was going on with him. They used a couple of backs. Normally he's the featured back. He gets all of the touches, but he was like the third one. It was one of three of them this game, so who knows what was going on with him? But it was the last game, so it was what it was. Um, as far as um, as far as Colorado, they finally got off to a good start, scoring 21 points in the first quarter. Jimmy Horn was still out with a high ankle sprain, which I knew that takes a long time to heal when you get a high ankle sprain, especially when you're a basketball player. It's just terrible. It's almost like worse than a break, honestly. Augusta was out hurt as well with the undisclosed injury. After the 21 quick points they scored, they did look sloppy for a while, and I kind of expected that. I mean, when you get up like that, you're blowing the team out, you don't feel any resistance with them. You can kind of get bored with the game, and it looked like they did. But obviously, the coaches got into them, and then later on in the game, they picked it up and they went back to being a dominating team. Um, Oklahoma is 0-9 in the Big 12 Conference, as I spoke on before. Micah returned to the starting lineup or back to the lineup after being out for weeks. I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 weeks. Michael Welch. So it was good to see him back. He actually, ran pretty good, pretty hard, even though he did not get a lot of opportunities. Just to let you all know, LaJohntay Wester is a star and will be for a while. Travis should either win the Heisman outright or there could be a co-winner. I don't think they do that for the Heisman. But this just how I feel because what Travis is doing is something special we haven't seen before, and then what Aston Genty is doing with Bowie State. I'm about to say Bowie State. Well, Boise State is also special, and I mean both of them deserve it if you ask me. I wish they figure out a way to do it that way. Um, Colorado was the first team to score 49 points against Utah since 2014. Now they came back 2 weeks later and scored 52 points on Oklahoma. So I wanted to make that a note. That's something special. That just shows you they can put up points with the best of them in the nation. So let's go to get into it. Um, the offense, which is led by Pat Shermer, as you all know, who's the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach, Coach Phil Loadholt. The run pass ratio was still very unbalanced. It was only 29 rushes to 42 passes. But it is what it is. It's a pass first offense, but I still like to keep up with the ratio. Shador was sacked 6 times, which is bad, but for the most part, it was Shador's fault again, holding on to the ball, running around like crazy instead of just throwing the ball out. But it's the last game of the season. Didn't expect him to change that. He does care about his percentage. He would rather hold on to the ball and lose rushing yards than he will throwing the ball out of bounds. And just to let you all know, now it used to be that if you did what Shador did and got negative yards, it would count against his passing yards. Now it counts against the rushing yards, which is why he holds on to the ball. A lot of people don't even know it's that deep, but he holds on to it because it goes to negative rushing yards, which he doesn't care about. So it actually affects the total run yards for the running backs. It does not affect his passing percentage or anything passing yards at all. That's one of the reasons he holds onto the ball and he doesn't mind doing it. So he was sacked 6 times. In the first quarter, Shador dominated. He went 11 for 11 for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, passing touchdowns. LaJohntay called a touchdown, of course. Travis called a touchdown, and then Michael ran in for a touchdown. Travis also got a pick, but that's for defense. So the offense got off to a quick start. They always get off to a slow start and kind of get behind, and then they pick it up. This time they just took off first. Um, like I said, it was up 21-0 after the first quarter, 21-0 after the first half. So the offense as a whole put up 49 points against Utah 2 weeks ago, and then they put up 52 points against Oklahoma. So for the game, Shador went 34 for 41 for 438 yards passing, 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. They had 64 rushing yards with 1 rushing touchdown. They ended up with 33 yards rushing because, as I told you, Shador holds onto the ball and they get from a sack. and that counts against negative rushing yards. So he had 31 negative rushing yards for himself. So, those are things you need to think about. The things he's doing is affecting other people on the team or other units. So the O line only gave up 6 sacks, but I'm gonna say they gave up two. I think four of those were really Shador's fault. So I give the O line basically. I'll give them I'm gonna give them an A because they did score 52 points. That's the highest output of the season, so you have to congratulate them on that. I mean, for their quarterback to throw 5 touchdown passes, they need to get the credit for that. For as far as the coaches, I give them an A as well because again, they did put up 52 points. I don't really, it's not the coach's fault that Shador runs around. Um, and so, the coach has been doing a great job with him. And they've been doing a great job with the offensive line. The offensive line has played better than we've seen it, since they've been in Colorado. So that's something that we can't take away from them. So let's move on to the running backs, which is coached by Coach Gary Harrell or Coach Flea. The running backs went 12 carries for 39 yards. Again, I don't count Shador's rushing yards against the running backs because of the negative 31 yards. Michael Welch made his return. The leading rusher was Michael Welch. He went 12 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. He only averaged 3.3 yards per carry, which is terrible. They did not have any fumbles, but they also didn't have a real presence in the game. Again, they only carried it 19 times, and Micah only carried it 12 of those 19 times. And again, running backs, I looked it up. The run game. Excuse me, should average around 30 rushes per game. Colorado doesn't do that. So again, I'm a C minus for production. They really never have an imprint on the game. I don't think Coach Fleet even fights for them to have an impact on the game. Luckily, it wasn't needed this game. So, again, I gave the running backs a C for production. For the coach, I gave him a D because, again, there's nothing creative about their running game. It looks the same. It looks old. It looks out of style. It's very predictable. And I don't think Coach Flea tries to do anything about it. And maybe he can't do anything about it, but I give him a D. And I've done a video about this before. So that is what it is for the running back. So let's move over to the wide receivers. It's led by Jason Phillips. The receivers look great again, very productive, a very versatile unit because anyone can go out and lead them and pass, and it doesn't matter who's in or who out. Shador can find a number one receiver, and they can go from there. They damn near looked unstoppable as a unit today, which they really were. They didn't get stopped too often unless they stopped themselves with penalties. LaJohntay Wester led the group with 11 catches of 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. Travis went 10 for 11, I think it was. No, he went 10 for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm sorry. LaJohntay had a 69-yard catch that was very impressive. Travis caught a couple of 50-50 balls that was very impressive. One was for a touchdown in the corner. One was on the right side of the field. He just grabbed it out the air. He doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if they're giving him pass interference or what. He catches those 50-50 balls. Shador did hit 8 different receivers. They outperformed the Oklahoma receivers. Colorado had 34 catches for 438 yards and 5 touchdowns. Oklahoma had 12 catches for 77 yards and 0 touchdowns. The receiving room looked great again, very explosive. They're the reason that 52 points was put up there. So for the receivers, the players, I give them an A. For Coach Phillips, I give him an A as well because the whole game they kept attacking. They did not back off. They kept spreading the ball around, so you can't really single in on one player. You can't single in on Travis as good as he is. They got stars all over the place when it comes to those wide receivers. So the wide receiver room it's in good hands right now. Jump to the defense which is led by Coach Vincent, Coach Lewis, Coach Livingston, Coach Hart, Coach Mathis, and Coach Sapp. The defense looked real good, very effective. They were very dominating. The defense did get a fumble recovery. They also got a fourth down stop late in the second half, which tells me a lot about their mentality because, late in the fourth quarter, they're not scoring on you. You may just give them you may not play as hard and stop them on the fourth down, but they did stop them on a fourth down. Number 13, Caleb Mathis, who I thought was redshirting because he doesn't dress out all the time, who is a wide receiver. He came in and hit, of a kick return and hit the guy so hard he gave up. He fumbled it. It was a hard hit by him, and the guy fumbled it, but they recovered it. But that's how you play for any coach on special teams. So congratulations to Caleb Mathis, who made an appearance and got a great tackle. Shiloh made a hard hit on Gordon, the running back. I mean, came out of nowhere and knocked him backwards. Number 41 Hill Green had a big hit. Number 40 McCoy had a big hit. Number 27 Wade had an assisted sack. BJ Green got a sack. Arden Walker got a sack. Number 97, I don't like to mess his name up. He got an assistant sack. DJ McKinney got a deflection interception for and a return for a touchdown. And I think that made it 44-0. Travis got him a pick in the game. So the defense only gave up 31 rushing yards, 241 passing yards. Um, no, that's wrong. They did not give up. I think they gave up 77 passing yards. I'm sorry, 31 yards passing, and then they gave up. Um, let me look real quick. Wait a minute. I miswrote my stats down, and I hate when I do that, especially when I'm in the middle of a segment. But they played very well, and I just like to give them credit for how well they played. But the defense only gave up. They gave up 70 yards, 77 yards passing, which is outstanding. And as far as rushing, they only gave up 70 yards. Wow, that's what you call domination or dominating right there. So they did force two interceptions. They forced three fumbles. I give them an A+ for the shutout. I give them an A+ because they kept playing hard the whole game, and you can tell they took that shutout seriously by the way they kept playing. So for the players again, I give them an A+ for the shutout. I give the coaches an A+ for the shutouts because normally they're known for making adjustments in the second half and holding their team scoreless in the second half. Where this time they held the team scoreless for all four quarters. So I give them an A as well, an A+ as well. So congratulations to them. And as far as special teams, nothing really special. Mata went 6 for 6 on extra points. No missed field goals. I think for the season he's 12 or 14. He was one of the leading scorers in the conference at one point in time. So I'm gonna double check that at the end of the year after all the teams played. They're gonna release the final stats, and can do another segment on that. So congratulations to Colorado. They was picked to finish 11th in the preseason, but they finished 9-3 overall, 72 in the conference. And right now they're in first place by themselves until the games start tomorrow. They also have an outside chance at still making the college football playoffs. And they're still looking at the conference championship. So, what can you say? Great job by the players, great job by the coaches. It's been Hunt 919, Truth to Sports. Ride with me.